A sudden death investigation on Fort William First Nation. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Police are investigating the death of a female on the First Nation.
Anishinaabeg police are working with the OPP to try and figure out what happened to her. APS officers, EMS, and fire crew were called yesterday to an abandoned residence on Fox Court and discovered the female dead at the scene. Her age and identity aren't being released, and police won't confirm at this point whether the death is being treated as a homicide. The investigation involves officers from APS and the OPP crime unit, in conjunction with the coroner and the Ontario Forensic Pathology Service. Anyone with information is asked to contact the OPP or Crime Stoppers.
Due to a technical issue at the beginning of yesterday's news hour, we understand that many of you didn't see this next story. We apologize for that.
Members of the Fort William BIA say they need more information about the city's plan for a temporary homeless village to be constructed somewhere in the downtown South Core. BIA members had a lengthy meeting with city officials earlier this week on the controversial project. Jaden Billick reports.
We need more information. Information that they gave us was very useful, letting us know what it is and what it is not going to be, but there are definitely questions.
The Fort William BIA's Tony DePaulo says they need to know more about the two potential locations for a homeless village before they could say what site they prefer. The Cam River Heritage Park has space for a 100-unit facility costing $5.9 million, and the location on Miles Street East has rooms for 80 units costing $4 million. The annual operating cost for either site is estimated to be at least $1.5 million. DePaulo says with roughly 200 homeless individuals in the existing encampments, there just wouldn't be enough space for everyone.
This structure, I think we need a property that for expansion. There's no doubt that this is a growing problem. If we're going to spend money on infrastructure, make sure that it can be expanded, or else we're looking at another location added at some point in the future.
The Fort William BIA also wants to know exactly how the proposed village will operate in terms of regulation, protection, and the timeline of what the city is calling temporary living.
One of the locations in Kitchener, Ontario, which this is modeled after, started in 2020. It is now 2024, and up to today, out of the 50 people that they moved into this area, only 6 people have transitioned into housing. It's a pretty low stat, so 44 people out of the 50 are still, original people are still there. Obviously they moved 6 more in. So how temporary is this?
DePaulo says the BIA has inquired about additional location possibilities and are still waiting for a response. Jaden Billick, TBT News.
And the city launched an online survey yesterday on the proposed homeless village on its Get Involved Thunder Bay website. The survey begins by offering information about benefits of the plan and details about the two potential sites at Miles Street and the Cam River Heritage Park. The city says the results will help inform administration's recommendation to council on the best place for the temporary village. The survey includes just 4 questions, including whether respondents live or work in downtown Fort William and how often they visit that area. And the key question asks participants which of the 2 sites they prefer. The survey is open until next Thursday, October 31st.
The local economy has recovered since the pandemic, according to the latest Thunder Bay Ventures Economic Activity Index.
The report assessed the health of the city's economy every 2 years. The results were presented to a group of community leaders and partners this morning. Jess Clement has the details.
Thunder Bay Ventures has released new findings from its 2024 Economic Activity Index, a report that helps the community stay informed about changes in economic activity.
This report is produced biannually, and it measures the health of our local economy. This helps guide decision-making for businesses, policymakers, and also community members.
Ventures manager Maria Vedato, along with Camilo Lento and Baram Dadgostar from LU's Faculty of Business Administration, presented the findings to community leaders and partners Friday morning. Lento says the report shows the city's economy has finally recovered after the pandemic.
Our data does show that the Thunder Bay economy has not only recouped from the pandemic lows, but exceeds pre-pandemic highs. And I think that's a big plus for our economy, and important for us to understand that we have recovered. It's now we're just keep moving forward.
Lento notes one surprise from the data is that Thunder Bay has exceeded the province in many measures, when in previous years it usually lags behind.
In terms of resale home prices, in terms of unemployment rate, total employment growth, and even housing affordability, even though our housing is less affordable than it was, that rate of change is not as bad as the province as a whole.
Dadgo Star says the report also shows that the nature of Thunder Bay's economy has changed compared to several years ago. He notes the total employment increased to just under 64,000, and the GDP has gone up significantly.
I think that population of Thunder Bay actually increased, and there are lots of projects going on, and I give a hope that if this momentum is going to continue in future, and the economy actually move from last decade to a new era that see a little bit of more, kind of prosperity and economic activity.
The results of the 2024 Economic Activity Index can be found on Thunder Bay Ventures' website. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Thunder Bay police are reporting a pair of drug busts. Police executed a warrant on Secord Street yesterday where they found 1 kilogram of cocaine and a loaded handgun. 3 men and a woman face drug trafficking and other charges. The other bust occurred on Macker Avenue yesterday. A male suspect tried to flee but was caught by police. Officers found cocaine and cash, and 2 people face several charges.
Thunder Bay OPP have announced a drug bust as well, and the arrest of 2 people from Nova Scotia. The search warrant was executed on October 10th at a residence on South Creek Square in the River Terrace area. The amount of drugs confiscated was small, approximately 5 grams of cocaine and 3 oxycodone tablets, but police also seized more than $70,000 in cash, along with other items commonly used for drug trafficking. A 37-year-old man from Halifax and an 18-year-old from Dartmouth are charged with drug trafficking and possession of proceeds and property obtained by crime. The 2 accused will be back in court on November 19th.
After 87 days, Thunder Bay resident Richard Graham is still missing. His loved ones, along with city police and volunteers, have been searching for him since August. Now they're offering a $3,000 cash reward for any information that leads to his discovery. The 42-year-old Graham was last seen on July 30th, getting on a city transit bus on Cumberland Street, but it's unknown where he got off. Numerous searches have come up empty. His cousin Riley Graham explains the decision to offer a cash reward.
We're devastated, we're afraid, but we're encouraging people to be brave, be bold, come forward, share information. We need to protect marginalized people, people with mental illness or addictions. So come together as a community, be brave, and come get this reward money. We're happy to give it.
Anyone with information is asked to go to the Richard Graham Missing Person Facebook page and contact the phone number listed there.
Ontario's Special Investigations Unit has determined there are no grounds to lay charges against an OPP dog handler in the Kenora area after a police dog bit a woman on the Wajishkaniggum Nation. The 39-year-old woman allegedly drove a vehicle while intoxicated and threatened suicide. Police followed her into a wooded area with the police dog. She was eventually found and bitten on the leg and was taken to hospital.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford has announced an $88 million investment aimed at training more family doctors.
The province also plans to bar international students from enrolling in Ontario medical schools starting in 2026. CTV's Siobhan Morris explains why.
They're the family doctors of the future, a line of work the government's trying to entice more young people to take up. More than 2 million Ontarians don't have primary care.
Our government is investing $88 million over 3 years to help more Ontario students become family doctors.
The money flowing through the Learn and Stay program, covering tuition for medical students who commit to family practice in Ontario.
It is life-changing for someone that's applied to medicine for several years. It can be such a great expense.
Ontario is also effectively barring international students from its medical schools.
There was 18% students from around the world taking our kids' seats and then not even staying here and going back to their country, and it's just not right.
So starting in the fall of 2026,
all Ontario medical schools will be required to allocate at least 95% of all undergraduate seats to residents of Ontario,
with the last 5% for students from other provinces and territories.
We are going to prioritize Ontario residents because those are our taxpayers that are paying those students to go to school.
Schools will have to offer options for Ontario-born people who start their studies abroad and want to finish here. The head of the Ontario Medical Association calls today's announcement a good first step. Next, an expansion of healthcare teams.
Building in pharmacists, social workers, other health professionals into those teams, building in AI, expanding AI scribes so that doctors can focus on their patients.
Earlier this week, the Ford government appointed former federal health minister Jane Philpott to lead a team to tackle the primary care gap. The opposition has expressed skepticism the government will follow through with what she recommends.
she's not going to be writing sheets and everything and handing them in. She's going to get the action done.
Promising to connect all Ontarians to primary care within 5 years. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Engineering students at Lakehead University got rid of their midterm stress today at their annual car smash event.
And it was a poor little Toyota that was the victim of the sledgehammers this time around. Brendan Miller took a swing at it too and files this report.
It's midterm season at Lakehead University. And what better way to relieve stress or get rid of midterm nervousness than smashing a car with a giant hammer? First-year engineering student Oscar Mills went to town on the driver's side door. Any student could come out to participate and pay $1 or $2 for 1 or 2 minutes to smash a scrapped vehicle. Engineering Student Society President Marley Zylot explains the process for getting to swing the hammer.
It's pretty simple. It's all in the name. It's car smash. We bring an old car from the junkyard, put up some fencing, give students a sledgehammer and safety glasses, and tell them to smash up the car.
We did it last year, as you said. Turnout was just about as it's looking now. People just coming in and out of class, they see it, they think, oh, I just wrote a midterm. It'd be nice to get rid of some stress.
Vice President of the ESS, Allison Ferris, gave some insight regarding where the money raised by the event goes.
So it's going to go back to ESS-run activities as well as degree project funding, so all the students can kind of benefit from the money we're raising today. Duchak Scrap Metal donated this car to us, and then Equipment World donated the fencing, and then we got discount on our tow truck as well, so a lot of local businesses helping us out today.
As you can see here, it's a lot of fun, and students are relieving stress from their midterms, which I definitely don't miss. However, I would still very much like to take a smash, so I will. Brendan Miller, TBT News.
Just like Brendan needed that.
Yeah, I think he really did. Well, some NHL legends, including Patrick Sharp and Daryl Sittler, were in town today supporting a great cause.
The 7th annual Easter Seals Celebrity Hockey Classic raised nearly $200,000 for kids with physical disabilities. Vasilios Bellows was at the rink and brings us more.
A number of ex-NHLers were on the ice or behind the bench playing with local beer leaguers at the Thunder Bay Tournament Center for the annual Easter Seals Celebrity Hockey Classic.
Hearing a lot of positive feedback, everyone is having a great time.
Easter Seals Community Engagement Manager Rhonda Harrison says they came very close to matching the $200,000 raised last year at the charity event.
We had another successful year. Easter Seals, we help families with children with physical disabilities purchase equipment such as wheelchairs, walkers, and we also have summer camp opportunities.
The night before the event saw the local fundraising teams draft NHLers they want to play with. It was no surprise Thunder Bay's own Patrick Sharp, who won 3 cups with that early 2010s Blackhawks dynasty, went first overall. Sharp talked about the cause, which he says he has a long history with.
Easter Seals is an incredible charity here in town. I'm happy to be involved, and I think it was like 25 years ago when I first got involved with Easter Seals when I was just starting my pro career, so it's kind of neat to be back in the city doing it all over again.
Any of these guys fitting into some of those cup-winning teams you're on, or anyone?
It's like I'm out there with Kane and Taves all over again.
It's amazing. We got first-round pick this year, so we've tossed around the idea, but obviously Patrick Sharp being a 3-time Cup winner from Thunder Bay, it was a no-brainer, and he's already scored 3 goals for us, so it was a good choice, I think.
And not every ex-NHLer was taking the ice. Some were behind the bench. That includes Leafs legend Daryl Sittler. Daryl, why was it so important to be here?
Well, first of all,
These Easter Seal events raise a lot of money for kids and families that need equipment. So when I got invited to come to Thunder Bay, I know it's a big hockey town, and just to help raise awareness and a cause.
Anyone looking to support Easter Seals outside of the Celebrity Hockey Classic can do so through their website. Vicilios Bellos, TBT News.